This should be fun. I really like BuzzFeed. So I recently heard about a video that BuzzFeed Yellow released called 36 Questions Women Have for Men. I thought I would watch this video myself, I haven't seen it before, and try and give an honest answer myself for the questions that they're asking. I heard there's a fair bit of controversy around this video, so this should be interesting.
How does it feel to be the same sex as Donald Trump?
Excuse me? That doesn't merit a response.
Why do you hate rom-coms? Or do you just feel like you need to hate them?
I don't hate rom-coms. Some of my favourite films are romantic comedies. I feel like it's just one of those genres where the ratio of good to bad films made that are categorised under rom-com is quite extremely leaning more towards the bad end. But if they're good, I like them. So I do like rom-coms.
Everybody likes The Notebook. Everybody likes Beyonce. It's just a fact.
It's not a fact at all, it's entirely subjective to the individual, but I think The Notebook's okay. The only problem I have with it is when Ryan Gosling's character threatens to kill himself if the girl doesn't go out with him, which I'm pretty sure is illegal. But other than that, it's okay.
Why do you make women sit around and talk about men in movies
When y'all easily just sit around and talk about boobs for hours?
No, we don't. I've never had a conversation about boobs that's lasted more than a minute. I don't know anyone else who has. I feel like if I was with someone who tried to talk about boobs for an hour, I would be like, man, shut up, stop talking about boobs.
Why do you automatically assume that you won't like TV or movies that star a female lead?
I don't. Who does that? Who are these people you're addressing? I don't know anyone who assumes that they won't like a film because of the female lead.
Why are you surprised when women are funny?
I'm probably funnier than you.
Yeah, okay, you probably are. I'm not a very funny guy, but I don't assume that women aren't funny.
Why do you think that we're obsessed with you when we hook up?
I don't.
9 times out of 10, I just want you to leave too. I'm busy, I got shit to do.
Good for you.
Why can't I sleep with as many people as I want to without being judged?
You can.
When men do it, they're congratulated.
Not all the time. Most of the guys I know who sleep around a lot are roundly judged and mocked for it. You can do what you want. Someone's allowed to judge you, but it's up to you whether or not you take offense. If someone judged me for doing something like that, I'd just be like, f off.
Why do you consider a woman a tease if she doesn't sleep with you after 3 dates, but a slut if she sleeps with you on the first date?
I don't. I feel like that's going to be the answer to pretty much all of these questions. It's just like, I don't do that. I don't know people who do that. I think that's more of a thing in America. There's this like code of like, you have to sleep with someone after a certain number of dates, which just stupid, isn't it?
In what world does no mean yes?
No means no.
Yeah, I know no means no. I'm not an idiot.
Why do you say that women are too emotional to be leaders?
Then justify catcalling by saying men just can't control themselves.
I don't say that women are too emotional to be leaders, and I don't justify catcalling. Catcalling is actually behaviour that I find pretty abhorrent. I think it's incredibly vulgar and really classless, and I don't think I have any friends who would defend it or would consider doing it. I feel like these questions are targeted towards a kind of a very small demographic of men, and you get men that do this sort of thing and they're assholes, but just because those guys do it and think it's okay does not mean that all men do it. And this video seems to be inherently slightly sexist itself because it's making a judgment about all men based on examples of behaviour exhibited by a very small minority of men. You can argue about how small this minority is, but certainly none of my friends do any of this stuff. And no guys I know do any of this stuff either. And it just seems a bit presumptuous to assume that this is what all men are thinking.
Why do you think that just because you're nice to me, I owe you my body?
I don't, and I think the whole attitude of, oh, I'm a nice guy, they should go out with me because I'm such a nice guy, I find that really, really stupid. But again, I don't think that people feel like someone owes them their body or sex. They would like a relationship out of it, and with a relationship comes sex. But to assume that the only thing that someone is looking for from a relationship is sex is pretty presumptuous again. Some people genuinely like someone and feel as if, oh, I'm a nice guy, so I should, they should go out with me. And again, I don't like that behaviour, because why should you be rewarded for being a nice guy? You should just be a nice guy. There shouldn't be some reward for you for doing that. But again, we come back to the fact that I don't know people who do that. And if I heard one of my friends say that, I'd be like, mate, shut the f up.
Why would you ever send an unsolicited dick pic?
I don't.
Why do you feel like it's okay to harass women or make offensive comments about women, but when somebody does it to your sister, it's not okay?
What? Okay, firstly, it's not okay for anyone to harass anyone. And secondly, that's a bit like saying, why do you think it's okay for someone to punch a stranger in the face, but when someone punches your mum in the face, you get all mad? Because you have a biological connection to that person, an emotional connection to your family members, so it would be natural for someone to react in a more strong and emotive way if someone was harassing a family member, a direct family member, than someone who they didn't know. But that being said, harassing someone is never the right thing to do and is never okay. And I don't know anyone, male or female, who would think that it is acceptable thing to do. Don't harass people. No one thinks it's okay to harass people.
How does it feel to interrupt me when I'm in the middle of making a point?
I try not to interrupt people, but when I do interrupt them, their gender does not come into it. I just am interrupting them because I can be quite rude sometimes.
Why do you have to sit with your legs so wide open?
I get that you have balls, but I don't stand around with my arms wide open to make room for my boobs.
Boobs are in a different physical location to testicles. You're comparing apples with plums there. You see what I did there? Yeah. Again, I don't know people who always sit with their legs apart. I sometimes sit with my legs crossed like a proper gentleman.
Why are women perceived as the weaker sex?
Probably because statistically speaking, women are physically weaker than men. Not all women. If you took a stat of every single person on the world right now, the women would not be as physically strong as the men are. Doesn't mean that you can't be stronger or you can't become strong or you're not strong in other ways. There are lots of ways people are strong, not just physically, but that's probably why.
Even though we literally birth you.
We don't have the capacity to give birth, so it's not a very good argument to make because it's something that simply cannot be compared.
Why is it so bad to show your emotion?
It's not. Who said it is? Who thinks it's bad to show your emotions? It can be inappropriate at times to show your emotions, but it's never bad to show your emotions.
Why are you always trying to prove your masculinity to me?
I don't try and do that. In fact, these are some of the things I bought in town today. I'm fairly comfortable with this kind of stuff. I didn't try and assert my masculinity and pretend they were for my girlfriend. I just, look at this. I need it. But again, I don't try and do that. I don't know people that do. And I think if people did do that, it would probably just be because it's sort of almost like a biological instinct.
Why the isn't it ladylike to cuss?
I never said it was, and I don't think that it is unladylike to cuss.
Why is it your first instinct to doubt women who have been sexually violated or raped?
It isn't. My first instinct is empathy. However, it's a very, very delicate situation, and our justice system works on an innocent until proven guilty system, so people may well feel like unless the case has been brought to trial and a conclusion has been given, a verdict has been given, you can't say one way or the other whether or not it definitely happened, especially if you weren't there and you don't know the person very well.
Why do you assume a woman's angry because she's on her period?
I don't think that. I just think that certain emotions can be over-exaggerated when someone's on their period because there is a chemical imbalance going on.
Why do you think women that wear makeup are false advertising? We can say the same thing about your dick size.
I don't think that, and I don't know people that do think that.
Why isn't it weird that there's a bunch of old white men sitting in a room making legislation about what I can and can't do with my body?
That's a very interesting point. Make sure that you vote for the people you feel will be representing you.
Why are straight guys so obsessed with lesbians?
Because they find it arousing, I imagine.
How does it feel to get kicked in the balls?
It hurts.
Do you ever get tired of trying to be manly all the time?
No, I don't try and be manly all the time. I just try and be me.
Why are you so afraid of gender equality?
I'm not. I'm an advocate of gender equality.
Why do I deserve to be paid less than you?
They don't.
In what world does 77 cents equal $1?
I don't know.
In what world does 68 cents equal $1?
I don't know.
How is that fair?
It certainly isn't fair. And if you're getting paid less than a man for the same work, then go to the police or a lawyer about it because it is 100% illegal.
Why are you intimidated by a woman who makes more money than you? That's awesome! More money!
Yeah, good for her.
Why are opinionated women seen as bitches?
When opinionated men are seen as bosses.
I don't feel like that, and I don't know people that do. The only people I consider bitches are bitches.
Why aren't you speaking up when you hear your male friends behind closed doors make jokes that are offensive to women?
Because I'm not going to tell my friends what they can and cannot say. It's a joke. They can choose to make it if they want. If I find it really offensive, I will say something, but if not, I won't. And it's not my right to control what other people say. I don't know many people who make a lot of obviously offensive jokes towards just women, usually offensive jokes against anyone at all.
Why are you so afraid of recognizing your own privilege? Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Just recognize it and do something about it.
I've had a very privileged upbringing. I acknowledge it and I accept it, and I know that it puts me in a position which is of an advantage to many other people. And no one I know who has had a privileged upbringing as well would say anything else.